did people pass?
The dark side is very powerful in Biden.
That's a banana republic without the banana.
I'm being indicted for you, thanks. Hiroshima, Hamas terrorists, Canada, United States, us equals U.S. Couldn't have been too impressed with our capital. It looks like
Biden is very much alive and running for re-election.
And then we're going to have to use Title 9, or Title 8, right? Am I right?
I want the press to know that wasn't me.
By the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage.
You got a bug on it.
Oh, thanks.
So you might be wondering, what was that intro about? Well, there was a little clue. You saw some crazy people, madmen, expressions, acting crazy. Well, that's something to do with what I found out, the etymology of the word that we're doing today, politics. So this is what you're seeing on the screen, is what we all know, that we've all seen bandied about for years. And it says politics, poly, a Latin word meaning many, and ticks meaning blood-sucking creatures. Now we can safely say we've used this and we agree with what we see on the screen now. They do act like blood-sucking creatures. But what I found has not only surprised me, it shocked me. It's like, wow. It also fits very nicely into what we believe and see with our own eyes and experience about politics and politicians. Right, that's coming up now. So, let's do my breakdown. And you just saw politics meaning many, basically blood-sucking creatures. A play with words of sorts. They said poly meant in many, well actually it means many with the Y, but it's still the same. And it basically, P-O-L-Y is a word forming element meaning many, much, multi, one or more, from Greek polis meaning much, plural, polyi from root pele, not the footballer, but it means to fill. And underneath you have P-O-L-I-S, polis, the noun, ancient Greek city-state, means citadel, fort. The state community, it's all its citizens. Basically, it means polis. And it basically means city. But we'll carry on and see what else we can find. What is the base word for poly? And here they actually state that poly, that they said it was many, actually means polish or smooth. The meaning is found such words as impolite, polish or polite. What caught my attention was underneath, in medical terms, it's a name relating to the grey matter of the brain or spinal cord, and it's poliomyelitis. But I look at that as meaning polymyelitis. Elites, basically the elites. This is grey matter. So let's move on and we'll get to tick. So nothing so far has made you go, wow. You can basically say it means city, citizens, or many. You can still use that. So many we're going to go for. Let's carry on. What is the meaning of the word tick? A regular repeated twitching movement of a particular muscle, and especially one of the face. A particular form of behaviour or speech that is often repeated, and you know this as a verbal tick. And we see a lot of this repeating behaviour in politicians and in politics. So, you know, it is all connected, somehow. They also talk about, and I'm not going to read it out because it was a bit boring, but they say the word tick derives from the St. Vitus dance. That's the intriguing bit. And if you don't know what the St. Vitus dance is, it basically was known as the dancing plague, where people just got up, started dancing till they dropped dead. And that's where the first use of the word tick came from. I've done a video on that a long time ago. I don't know if I still got up on this iteration of the Black Sheep Researcher. I think I have, but you will find it somewhere. So that's where they first said the word tick was used. It's also associated to the German word ticken, which means to touch slightly, the Gaelic word taked, meaning sudden pain, or the German ziki, which means young goat. And they also tie it to the Italian word for goats, caprice or capriccio. So that's intriguing, but let's carry on. It's not like blowing my mind. So then I got to the word, as you can see on the screen, tick, T-I-C, and it says on the English alternative form is attic. So that is also, as you can see on the screen, tick also comes from attic. So if you can do the word like politic. So you can see it phonetically anyway, it comes from the word tick, meaning attic. No, not the room in your roof, but it basically means the nature of, basically, like the nature of the beast. And when you hear it on TV, oh, well, the nature of the animal, the nature of the beast is to do this. So you can see some intriguing things coming from this word about politicians. It's in their nature, but still didn't get me going, wow. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to look at the word Attic and basically what the things that pertains to. And I found this. So this is where I want to show you what I want to show you. Some will get it, some won't, some will cry, it's a stretch, and it is. But it's just me thinking out loud and looking at the essence of what politics and politicians are. They show you many faces, many of the personalities, the nature of politics, and that is the word Attic contained in politics. Now, as you know, I showed you Latin is a suffix pertaining to the nature of. So what I want to show you is, yes, a play with words, but it's actually the essence, the core of what politics is, and the politician, the nature of the beast. So this is how I'm working in this word. It's not like, yes, oh, break down politics and it means this. No, it does in a way, but it's more the essence, the soul of the politics, the politicians that I want to get at. So as you can see, Latin, a suffix pertaining to the nature of. And remember, poly meant many. So many natures, many faces, many personas, many masks. Wonder who that is and related to the god who's connected to voting and laws. But hey, we'll change that. So just look at some of the words that has Attic in. Erratic. You know, relating to irregular, uncertain, or unorganised movements or behaviour. Tracking the flight of a bus flight indicated its flight was most erratic. But just look at that from a, yep, you got it, a politician and politics type of view. They're very erratic sometimes in their behaviours. So, but that's not what I wanted to show you. A word that is basically screams politicians and politics if you just look at it closely. And that word is fanatic. Now let's have a look at what it says. A person with an extreme and uncritical enthusiasm or zeal, as in religion or politics. Someone who is marked or motivated by an extreme, unreasoning enthusiasm, as for a cause. A fanatic, a zealot, a militant, a devotee, all refer to people who show more than ordinary support for or adherence to or interest in a cause, a point of view, or an activity. Marked by an excessive enthusiasm for an intense devotion to a cause or an idea. Etymology from about 1525. Insane person, from Latin fanaticus, mad, enthusiastic, inspired by a god originally. Pertaining to temple, from fanum, which means temple. Related to festus, meaning festive. So just look at that. That's why I put that beginning of crazy faces and are we living in an asylum? Because that, to me, is what politics is and how politicians act. Because it's in their nature. And you'll see more ties in a minute that you make you go, So, the current sense of extremely zealous, especially in religion, is first attested in 1647. The noun is from 1650, originally in the religious sense of nonconformists. Fanatic and zealot both suggest excessive or overweening devotion to a cause or a belief. Fanatic further implies unbalanced or obsessive behaviour, or a wild-eyed fanatic. A zealot only slightly less unfavourable, by implication that the term fanatic implies a single-minded partnership, such as a tireless zealot for tax reform. Militant stresses vigorous, aggressive support for or opposition to a plan or an ideal and suggests a combative stance. Devotee is a milder term that any of the previous terms suggests enthusiasm, but not to the exclusion of other interests or possible points of view. For example, they just use a jazz devotee. And Winston Churchill did a quote, a fanatic is someone who can't change his mind and won't change the subject. Another perspective about the term fanatic, and this is what got me and made me go, wow. So, according to the simplest etymology, fanatic derives, let me just see if I can get rid of that. Fanatic derives from the Latin fanum, temple. but the meaning zealous or zealot seems to derive from a particular behaviour of priests who served the Roman war goddess Bellona at Fanum, built by the military dictator Sulla in the 1st century BC. Every year, the priests stage a festival during which they tore off their robes and hacked at themselves with axes, splattering blood everywhere. This behaviour could only be a sign of divine inspiration, and so Fanaticus came to mean something like crazed by the gods. When the word fanatic first appeared in English in the 16th century, it meant crazed person, and then more specifically possessed with divine fury. Religious maniac is still the principal meaning of the term, but in the shortened form fan, it also simply means devotee or adherent. So tell me I'm not just describing what politics and politicians are. Crazy, isn't it? Especially the word about the crazed priests that used to hack themselves and think they contain divine inspiration. This is what politicians do and act on screen. We've seen it for many, many, many years. They're trying to make a spectacle. They're very much like an actor, and how that means an agent provocateur. So tell me that does not describe what a politician and politics is. For me, the essence, the beast, the nature of politics. So whereas politics, talking about blood-sucking parasite, and I play with words, I'm playing with words, but I'm also getting to the core of the spell, the nature of the spell, and what makes a politician. So what say you guys? I think it describes it, but that's just my rose-tinted glasses of sorts. So if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. And if you want to help me in the channel a lot more, you can always buy me a bar, which is buy me a coffee. The barcode or QR code is on the screen now, and you also can find the link in the description if that doesn't work. Right guys, hopefully you enjoyed that spell etymology on the word politics. It's so slam dunk for me how this is the nature of the beast. Right guys, take care.
What a stupid son of a bitch.